I still don't have a track saw. I'm gonna buy a lottery ticket. Well, that's not good. Welcome to Life in the Moose. Welcome back if you've been here before. If you've never landed on this channel, you are on Red Moose Ranch. Wintry, cold Red Moose Ranch. High of 18 degrees again today. It was 0 when I got up, Fahrenheit. So it was no degrees. There was no temperature this morning. I guess it really doesn't work like that, does it? Let's work on that barn loft today. There's a few tasks I'd like to get done. I'd like to get that railing done above the stairway if I could. And in order to do that, we have to do a couple other things. Like put up plywood on that end. I'd like to get those big sheets up there before we cordon it off with that railing. It's gonna make it a little tougher to get things up there, I know, but it'll be a lot safer. Once this plywood is up there, there's really not gonna be a reason to move big things up there as far as I know. What a day. Glad you're here. Let's get to work. Okay, our railing is going to go here, obviously, so no one, namely me, backs off of it. But before we put that railing up, like I mentioned, I would like to get this wall sheathed. I'm going to put 1/2-inch CDX plywood on the outside of this whole space, basically. I think that's fairly rodent-proof. I mean, mice can eat through almost anything. But regardless, this is as good as we're probably going to get in this situation. After this is all done, we'll stain everything. I think that helps too, to make stuff taste bad. I know it helps with like woodpeckers and things on the outside. If you keep stain on it, they're less likely to peck at it. So plywood is what it's going to be. Before we put the plywood up, I have to put just some backing in different places, some nailers behind this down here. We're going to have to make sure spaces like this are totally covered. I do see we have one wire that is, well, will be penetrating that plywood that I put along this face here. So I'll have to take that wire, unhook it from this fixture the way it looks, and then drill a hole through that plywood in the future and push it back through. I think that's the only alternative. Where to start? See, all these little things you have to do before you do the things you want to do. That's the name of the game. Construction is a big game of, but I got to do that first. How you been, by the way? Is your knee feeling better? I'm just guessing. I know there's a certain percentage of the population that probably has a sore knee right now. I'm guessing a couple are watching, so I'm thinking of you. This power is off, so everything should be fine. Oh, look at that. That wire just broke off. I thought this was going to be easy. Okay, just have that little piece to go. Once I get that in, then I'll drill a hole from the other side and fish that wire through. As I mentioned, I think last episode or the one before, I still have to shore up all this wiring, make sure it all works. You may have noticed that my plywood is shy my opening. Well, that's okay. This is 2x6 framing. The door I have is meant for a 2x4. That's okay too, because I don't need the threshold of the door to stick out past this wall like you would on a normal front door. I'm going to take that brick molding that is around the outside of the door. I'm going to take that off, and we'll have to fur this up and put trim around this. The short story is this will never be seen. It'll all be covered up, rodent proof, good to go. Okay, so I measured what I need for that last piece. So let's cut it and get it up on the wall. I think I mentioned to you about a year ago that I feel like I'm the only one left on YouTube without a track saw. I still don't have a track saw. We'll get by. Well, what are the odds this actually fits? Holy cow! I'm gonna buy a lottery ticket. I decided to go ahead and put this light back together. Won't take long. That sun is going down, it's getting chilly. My nose and my fingers are getting cold. All right, stay put. I'll be right back. They're still here. That's a good sign. Had to get some more lumber for this railing. These are more boards from that old house we tore down. I think it's Doug fir, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, here's the material that I just picked up from the woodshed over the last couple days anyway. So the only thing that is not from the old house, guess which one? This one right here. This is a piece of ponderosa pine. This was a leftover like at the bottom of the mill when you get done milling what you really want. And check this out. I don't know if you can see the taper on that thing. It's about 2 inches net wide on this end and about 4 inches on the other. But that's okay. We're going to cut most of it off. This is gonna be the main post on the corner that I'll fasten to the floor joist up there. So all this other wood is from that house. Check out these 2x4s. Some of these, like this one and this one, are net 2 inches by 4 inches. This one looks like a nominal 2x4, which is 3.5 by 1.5. So back when I had a construction company in the Seattle area, I used to build a lot of decks, and of course, I built a lot of railings. So this is a pretty easy, straightforward way to do it. I think it looks good, usually stable, sturdy. 2x6 for a top rail, a 2x4 for a side rail, which will hold up the spindles or the pickets or the balusters. I think it's either one. The balusters will be 2x2s. So I'll cut these to length 3 feet long and then run them all through the table saw to get my roughly 1.5 by 1.5-ish. Are you with me? By the end of the episode, you're going to be saying to yourself, wow, he really did know what he was talking about. Well, I can't guarantee that. I'm going to notch the base of this big post around the stairs so I can hug that joist, and I'll fasten it to that joist. So this butt then will reach down over that floor 14 inches. Now I want my entire rail to be 36 inches. That is to the top of the top handrail. So that means I want 36 inches minus 1.5 inches for this thickness, give or take, to stick above the floor. So I got my 14 there, 34.5. Is my math right? So 34.5 exposed, 14 inches to fasten. I think we're okay. So since I have this length, before I cut it to length, I'm gonna go ahead and make my notch right now. Well, that's not good. First thing I'm going to do is just set this in place to see how level it is this way. Plumb, I should say. That's extremely close. I'm going to put one screw in top and see if it can suck it in. The top needs to go that way, about 1/16 of an inch at the most. It's very close as it is. So I'm just going to put a screw in now and recheck. Okay, that pulled it over, but now I'm going to put one on the bottom and it'll probably pull it back. Before I do that, oh, I'm gonna call that good. Look at that. All right, I saw it move. Oh man, that's it. I'm gonna put a couple more 3-inchers straight through because we're up against another joist right here. And then after that, I'm going to take a couple 5.5s and put them in at a diagonal. And that'll hold it nicely. That's solid. Now I'm going to put that top side rail on. The one that the balusters are attached to. And that'll attach right to this 2x4 right here. 90 7/8. Okay. Check out the patina on this board. If you've been to this channel before, you know that this board came from that old house, and that old house was built in 1911 as far as we can see. So it's pretty cool to use this stuff. Aren't you glad you got to witness some more sanding? I wanted to take the slivers off of here. Now it's nice and smooth. Do you feel that? I guess you can't really feel that again. Okay, let's screw this thing down, and then we can work on our balusters. Okay, 40 inches. Well, let's go cut and rip and sand some balusters. I don't know if you knew this or not, but sanding is not my favorite thing in the world to do. It's rewarding, it looks good. My goal was not to take all of the old age off or anything like that, just to basically get rid of the slivers like I mentioned earlier. So, good to go. Okay, quiz time. Why would I be carrying around with me a block that is 3 7/8 inches long? You're right. It's the spacing that I'm going to use between these balusters. Actually, I think code says, I know this isn't the code, but I like to pay attention to safety stuff like I mentioned before. Code says that these balusters have to be placed close enough together so that you cannot put a 4-inch sphere through it. So that's why I cut this 3 7/8. Give it a little bit of leeway in case I mess up. So I'm just gonna butt it like that, move on to the next one, space them out, and they'll be good to go. As you can see, these are not all identical. That's okay. The main thing is that the space is identical. In the end, this is just a barn in the middle of nowhere. I'm gonna start with the good ones over here, work my way down. I made 16 of them, and I don't know exactly how many. I never did the math. I'm just guessing. Spacer. That's all there is to it. I'll go back and put a second screw, top and bottom, when I'm done doing this. That way I can get a rhythm going, and it might be a little easier that way. I don't think I'm gonna need 16, will I? Just gonna double check myself here. Good. We have a railing. Check it out. Wish you could tell how sturdy it is. It's pretty sturdy. I'm happy with it. I'm happy I did not go all the way to the top with a post. It just opens it up a lot. I think it's cool too, just to use the old wood. Yeah. I like it. Thanks for watching this episode of Life on the Moose. I do appreciate that. Come back next week. There's a chance we'll be here. There's a chance we'll be working on that shed on the coast. Either way, you're probably not prepared to have as much fun as you're going to have next week. So I look forward to seeing your face. Until then, take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and be good. I'll see you soon.